Rich Michael, Zach Johnson, rolling into 3 and 4. Coming out, the Woah Nellie 25 takes the green.
Rich Michael's going to slide up in front of Johnson. That's going to allow Wyatt Scott to get to the bottom of Johnson, but Johnson's going to get a run. They're going to go side by side into turns 3 and 4.
Rich Michael ahead in turns 3 and 4. Wyatt Scott and Zach Johnson, door to door, wheel to wheel. Lap 1 goes to Michael. Zach Johnson has the upper hand over Wyatt Scott for second.
Hornets next throughout the field, back here between McGee and Johnson. Now they're going to get underneath Rockwell. Trouble in turns 1. And I can't quite, I believe it's McConnell.
Yeah, McConnell. And I'll give you this start. This one's yours, Jeremy.
Green flag in the hand of Tony Van Pelt, and Rich Michael will take off. Johnson's going to let him take off so he can take that second spot this time. Smart move by Johnson, but he's going to bobble a little bit, and that's going to allow Wyatt Scott to get underneath and make a pass for second.
Yeah, he's going to pay for that one. Wyatt Scott right there. Here comes Mike McGee. Mike McGee's got a good run in that 11F. Coming out of 4, Rich Michael, year later. Wyatt Scott second, move Mike McGee into third. He threw a little bit of an elbow there. Tight racing between McGee and Johnson. Here comes Greg Johnson working on his son, Zach.
The Warsaw, New York driver, Mike McGee, thrown into 3 and 4. It says this track owes him one after last time being here. Up front, Rich Michael still comfortably out front by a 6-7 car length lead.
Yeah, Rich Michael pulling away early. Wyatt Scott pulling away from Mike McGee and Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson starting to rebound, work on Mike McGee. Once again, Greg Johnson sitting back there as well.
And now Esrich is going to go to the outside of Rockwell, and he'll complete that pass, and he'll try and work on Greg Johnson next, as Esrich now put him in that spot.
Esrich, yeah, pulling away from Rockwell. I don't think he's done yet as he's got eyes on Greg Johnson. Rich Michael all
Trouble.
on himself. Oh, Tim Rockwell around in the middle of 3 and 4, and the yellow flag is out on the speedway. So, through 3 and 4, Rich Michael going to lead us to the starting zone, and we are back underway. Rich Michael going to lead us out of 2. Wyatt Scott right down there as well. Michael going to drive away from Scott and work it down the back chute into 3 and 4.
And trouble in turn 1. Can't see who it is against the wall.
Coming out of 4. And we are back underway. Rich Michael. And that is Dalton Bradley.
Yeah, Dalton Bradley smoked the wall here coming off of turn number 4. And you can tell something was wrong right away. He made heavy contact. Rich Michael going to leave us in 3 and 4. He'll get on the gas. The green flag is out. It's going to be Michael going to use the middle. Wyatt Scott going to use the bottom. Nothing there as Michael's able to pull away. Johnson's going to work to the inside of McGee. He'll go side by side into turns 3 and 4.
Zach Johnson down low. Mike McGee running that middle group as they are battling it
Trouble.
out. Oh, and we have trouble in the middle of turns 3 and 4. That is Jake McConnell. Jake McConnell is parked in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and the yellow flag is back out. And man, that battle between Mike McGee and Zach Johnson is getting hot.
They got to go. A green flag ready to come back out from Tony Van Pelt, and we are on it. Rich Michael will take it into turn number 1. Michael will take the high side this time. Wyatt Scott on the bottom, and now Mike McGee is going to try and work the top.
Yeah, Zach Johnson going to run away from him down the back chute, down on the bottom. Eyes on Wyatt Scott. Wyatt Scott going to try to reel in Rich Michael again. Bobbles a little bit coming out of 4.
Zach Johnson now working the back bumper of the 3 car of Wyatt Scott. Mike McGee way up top. He'll get into the marbles. That's going to allow Greg Johnson to get underneath, and he'll take over that 4th spot.
Yeah, Mike Esrich might have something for him too. And Zach Johnson's got something for Wyatt Scott. Here comes the jet. Wyatt Scott holding him off as we work into 1 and 2. It is Wyatt Scott over Zach Johnson for second. Zach Johnson sticking his nose underneath him as we exit 2.
Zach Johnson showing the nose yet again. Wyatt Scott's going to come down ever so slightly. He's going to develop a push, and that's going to make Johnson get on the binders, but give the spot to Scott.
Yeah, had a little bit of space between him and Johnson. Johnson coming back through 1 and 2. Wyatt Scott still with the upper hand. He now pulls away from him down the back chute. Greg Johnson sitting back in 4th. Mike McGee sitting back in 5th. And Rich Michael is all by himself in cruise control.
Yeah, nothing to see up front right now as Rich Michael is picking him up and putting him down. And now Wyatt Scott still on that middle to high groove, entering the track in 1 and 2. Trouble! Esrich has gone around in 1 and 2.
Kyle Schreckengoss.
And that Schreckengoss is also collected, but Esrich goes around on its own.
It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Green flag in the hand of Tony Van Pelt. And Michael is on the gas, and Wyatt Scott's going to try and stick his nose there. Can't make it happen. He's going to dive to the inside. Michael's going to drift up the track a little bit, but he gets really good drive off corner number 2.
Yeah, Rich Michael shot out of a rocket, working at it too. Wyatt Scott battling back through 3 and 4. Zach Johnson there, Greg Johnson fading back. Here comes CJ Ramsey in the 14R.
CJ Ramsey going to work to the outside of Greg Johnson, try and find any kind of traction he can on that high side. He'll come down the backstretch. He'll fall back in line between the 05 car and the 11 of Mike McGee, but up front it's still Rich Michael.
Yeah, Rich Michael pulling away once again. Wyatt Scott pulling away from Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson trying to not let him get too far away. And then sitting back and forth is Greg Johnson. And I think we're going to get a hornet's nest for 5th between Mike McGee and CJ Ramsey.
Yeah, Mike McGee started this race up front and unfortunately has gone to the back here as Zach Johnson gets a little sideways exiting turn number 4 as he's trying everything he can do to keep up with Rich Michael and Wyatt Scott.
Yeah, they are all spaced out right now. Michael, Scott, Johnson, Ramsey, your top 5. Mike McGee sitting outside of the top 5. Definitely not the feature event that he was looking for. Still a little bit of time to rebound.
And Jacob McConnell right now, the only car right now trying that high-sided. He is letting her eat. And he's in 3 and 4, and he's going to try the extreme high side here at Freedom Motorsports Park.
Yeah, he is getting way up there, foot on the gas. He is working on Mike McGee now. McConnell might be the car to watch in that 777 as he is reeling in Mike McGee, working down the back chute. Looks like he dove down to the bottom a little bit. Gonna go back up to the top in 3 and 4. Boy, has he got to run on McGee.
Yeah, nothing to see up front. The top 3 have checked out. They're all spaced out. But now CJ Ramsey's behind the Johnson machine. Then behind them is McGee and McConnell for 5th and 6th.
Yeah, CJ Ramsey trying to make something work on that 05 machine of Greg Johnson. Greg Johnson doing a great job holding him off. The wily veteran has been racing for a long time around this.
And now McConnell gets way too high in 1 and 2, and he'll lose wholesale ground to the 11 of Mike McGee.
Oh, he got squirrely there in 3 and 4, lost some more ground.
Yeah, McConnell's fighting it right now. He knows he's going to be up top, but right now he's getting up too far to the marbles, and he's losing traction. Schreckengoss underneath Tim Rockwell, the 32 car there. But up front, not missing anything right now. Rich Michael up front by himself, followed by Wyatt Scott and Zach Johnson.
Yeah, working through 3 and 4. Rich Michael going to take the 5 fingers. 5 laps remain for Rich Michael. Wyatt Scott just trying to hold off Zach Johnson for 2nd. Zach Johnson not even in reach of him right now. But CJ Ramsey is in reach of Greg Johnson.
Rich Michael working the lap traffic of Dustin Goss. He'll get by him, and he'll have smooth sailing, should be, for the rest of this race.
Yeah, Rich Michael just blew by Goss. Wyatt Scott has his eyes on him now. He might beat him. I think he's gonna right at the end.
And the pace that Rich Michael is set, and he probably will catch the back of the 32 of Tim Rockwell. But he's got himself quite a lead as Rich Michael is entering turn number 3, and Wyatt Scott's just getting out of turn number 2.
Popsicle 6 in the air. 2 laps remain for Rich Michael in the 17X. All he has to do is keep her straight for 2 more laps.
Rich Michael into 3 and 4, looking to see the white flag here from Tony Van Pelt. He picked up the win at McKean County Raceway earlier this year in the Woah Nellie 25, looking to go back-to-back this time.
Rolling out of 2, down the back chute for the final time. Into 3 and 4, checkered flag in the air. Rich Michael completes the perfect night. Rich Michael wins the Woah Nellie 25. Wyatt Scott 2nd, Zach Johnson 3rd. Greg Johnson will be 4th. CJ Ramsey will round out the top 5 in this one. And Rich Michael gets it done in dominating fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, climbing out of the car. Give it up for him, Rich Michael Jr. Rich, let's get a word over here. One word, domination tonight.
Well, it's just, like I said, it's a brand new car. I think that's the 6th night on it. It was pretty good. We were at Tyler County. There was 51 cars there. We qualified 4th. Got 3rd in the first feature. Didn't do so hot in the 50 lapper down there, but it's pretty cool. You know, I mean, racing up here. I haven't raced up here in a long time. I think I started in '89 up here, won a lot of features, and it's just awesome to come back up here and especially win a feature.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got this new car tuned up pretty good. You know, you were quick time, you won the heat, and then, you know, drawing the pole, you just ran away. You know, what'd you feel out there, especially, you know, having to kind of pace yourself with all those cautions early on?
Well, it still could be a little better. You know, I mean, every racer says that, but it was skating a little bit there. We need to do a little more work on it, but, you know, I mean, it was pretty good.
Who do you want to thank before we are done here?
We got Ron. He helps me. I called him up this morning and asked him if he wanted to go to Freedom. He said sure. And then Monica, you know, I mean, she's with me all the time, and it's just awesome to have them guys helping me.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner of the Woah Nellie 25, Rich Michael Jr. Now going to pick up a word with our 2nd place finisher, Wyatt Scott. Wyatt, you know, I mean, you look pretty good tonight, but, you know, he was tough. But, you know, a 2nd, that's nothing to hang your head on tonight.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, when I was growing up watching E-Mod races, that was the guy winning most of them. So that's not too bad. Couple young kids, home-built cars. So pretty happy with that. I think if I'd have ran the heat race, I might have been a little bit better. But Rich was pretty good.
Yeah, you know, you had some trouble early on, but, you know, it looks like, you know, you got it somewhat figured out. You know, a 2nd place finish with this. You know, I know you guys were working your butts off in there, so, you know, it's got to be rewarding to get a 2nd place after the trouble.
Yeah, it definitely feels great. Makes it a little better. We didn't even know if we were going to get to run the feature, but if it wasn't for the McGee's, Dad actually borrowed a distributor from them and then pretty much destroyed it to get the parts he needed to fix our distributor so we could run. So if it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't have been able to race at all. So, you know, and I passed him last time we were here for the lead on the last lap, so he could have just not offered us one. You know, he gave me a lane, so standout people. Got to love that about racing right there.
2 out of the 3 cars on the podium tonight are Affliction cars. That's got to feel great. But, you know, piggybacking off of that, who all do you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people that go into this. You know, everybody at the racetrack that put this on. I mean, if you don't know how much of an undertaking it is working at a racetrack, it's ridiculous. And every worker at Close Racing Supply, you know, I mean, we call them 3 times a week probably for something. Dad talks to Joel all the time. Martin Dynamics, we talk to Brucey all the time. He does all kinds of stuff for us. You know, I mean, obviously we're out in the garage 7 days a week basically. 955 Automotive, great engine. Animal Graphics, car looks great. Rod Johnson Construction, Wares Machine, Dynamic Drivelines, Acello Suits. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2nd place finisher, the X Factor, Wyatt Scott. We're going to pick up a word with 3rd place finisher, Zach Johnson. Zach, you know, not a bad night, you know. I mean, I think you know, you had something there early on, all those cautions. I mean, that had to make it tough, but, you know, 3rd place finish, podium, nothing to hang your head on.
No, the car was good. The track was a little rough, but it was fun to race on, and fun to race with Wyatt and Mike and my dad. I seen him a couple times there, and yeah, I think we had a good piece, and we'll collect everything back together and give her another go.
You know, a podium finish with, you know, some tough cats tonight. You know, that's gotta feel good. Maybe build some momentum coming into the latter parts of the season. Yeah. We're definitely going to do some bigger races here at the end of the season, and it's kind of why we're trying to come out here and do this stuff and try to get our stuff better. And yeah, I think we're headed down the right track for sure. You know, you driving an Affliction race car, Wyatt driving an Affliction race car. I said something to him. It's got to be pretty cool for you two to, you know, to have 2 Affliction cars in the podium. You know, it's a good look for those guys.
Yeah, for sure. The Affliction cars, I think, they're definitely going to come out, and they're working. That's for sure. Just I think a couple small things, and I think they'll be the ones you're chasing. So,
Who all do you want to thank on the 105 before we're done here?
yeah, I got to thank, first of all, my dad. Wouldn't be here without him, and Grandpa, and Wayne Ramondo at Ellery Center Self Storage, H.H. Rao Paving, Brad Buck Trucking, Steven Services, Jason Decker Construction, Dave Warren Auto, Affliction Race Cars, Emco Finishing Products, Winchester Armaments, and everybody who just helps out. Cody and his girlfriend Winter here, and my crew chief Addison. I wouldn't be here without him. He wrenches and does pretty much a lot of stuff so I can be comfortable at the racetrack, and makes it a lot easier on me. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher, the Jet, Zach Johnson.